All right, day 18, we got back. Back, one of the most important muscles for classic physique bodybuilding. You want to have a wide back. You want to make your entire physique look wide, have that juicy V-taper going, and you're going to do very well in bodybuilding shows. So first exercise, we're doing the lat pull downs. If you remember the legs video, I went super light and had one of the best leg days of my life, so I thought I'd do the same for this back day. Now, a few sets, I did go heavy, and again, I do recommend that. Go heavy for a few sets. So that's what I did. I went with the full stack, and this is actually the best range of motion I've had with the full stack I think ever. You can see I'm fully getting a stretch, and that stretch is highly underrated. I feel like when you get that stretch, you're obviously more likely to get sore, and stretching the muscle just drives more blood into it, so it makes the pump a lot better. So make sure on at least a few of your training days you are focusing a lot on the stretch and the squeeze, because those two parts of the movement are where most of the blood can get driven into the muscle. The rest of the movement is mostly just to fatigue the muscle. After the full stack, I moved down to 240, which is just one peg under it. Again, you can see here, I'm slowing it down as I mentioned. That's really what I'm trying to focus on from here on out. I'm going to keep going heavy, but I'm going to do less heavy stuff because I noticed that the last few workouts that I was going really heavy, I wasn't really feeling it as much as I wanted to, which could be a sign that my form is severely deteriorating and it's just not going good. So drop the weight even more because I'm getting weaker as the sets go on, and you can see that I'm not touching my chest. Now, that's not only because I literally can't touch my chest because it's like I don't have the mobility for it, but you literally don't need to touch your chest when you're doing lat pull downs. Most of the lat activation is from when you're pulling it from a dead hang position to when your arms are parallel to the ground. Like if you look at a pull up, you don't need to pull up till the point where your chin is above the bar. You need to pull up until your arms are parallel to the ground. That's where you get the most lat activation, and it's also just a good excuse to go super heavy. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. As you can see, I'm doing drop sets too, not using the straps on the drop sets because I have the rule that you only use straps when you're lifting more than your own body weight on lat pull downs. So me going over 200 pounds means I use straps. Last set, we did 4 on lat pull downs, and this one was a good set. I went pretty fast here, but I still got a really good contraction, so that's what matters at the end of the day. If you can go fast and you can go heavy, you can swing the weight around like Branch Warren used to do back in the day, you can still get big. It's all about just feeling the muscle and actually getting a good contraction, feeling a little sore the next day. That's what you want, and that's how you know your workout's good. So we did one pull down and we're going into the row. I usually do pull downs and rows on the same day. There's a few people who like to split it up into a pull down focused and a row focused day. Like that's fine depending on your split, but based on what I'm doing right now, it's not really worth it for me. So we're just going with the classical pull down row, pull down row. Here I'm doing a chest supported row, but you can see that as I get to the top, I take my chest off the seat slightly. That's just to get better squeeze at the top. 3 plates is super heavy on this machine. I don't know what it is with like the leverages of it. It's just a little different from other chest supported row machines. It's not as like straight in the motion. It's kind of like circular, if you can kind of tell. Also, again, emphasizing the stretch at the bottom because I'm letting like those big upper back and mid back muscles really stretch out. Getting full protraction and then squeezing and retracting. It just works the muscle way harder. Like I'm sore right now and I trained back 2 days ago. So that just goes to show you that this back workout was worth it. Try different things that your body isn't used to. If you're always going heavy, go light. If you're always going light, go heavy. Whatever you do, train hard. I'm going to keep saying that in every video in case some people are new and for some reason have the notion that they have to train a specific way. The bottom line is you feel the muscle working, you feel a good pump, and you move some heavy ass weight. That's all that matters. So I've dropped the weight to 2.5 because again, 3 plates was really hard. Here I'm going super slow. The eccentric is like really slow for me. I never usually do eccentrics this slowly. I was just testing things out here with the slow eccentric and it turned out to be a lot more difficult than just swinging the weight around, obviously. And I'm not entirely sure it's worth it for this movement, but I did feel the stretch at the bottom, so I think it's fine. I switch up the grip here to target more lats as I do the drop set just to get more blood into like the entirety of the back. That's pretty much it for chest supported rows. Swinging the weight around, going slow, just doing a variety of types of training. So I did one set here of like these kneeling cable rows unilaterally, but it turns out that the 2 machines that I was wanting to use for this set were freed up right after we did the first set. So after the first set, I moved on and did this superset, which is one of my favorite supersets, probably my favorite superset for back. It's this pullover machine, this hammer strength pullover or pull down or whatever you want to call it. It's an underhand grip that's really hard. 2 plates is like insanely difficult on this machine. I get the really good stretch at the top. The squeeze at the bottom could be a little better, but aside from that, it's a great machine. And here's the superset. After this, I move right into assisted pull-ups. Now, they're not regular pull-ups, body weight pull-ups. And that's because when you fatigue yourself this hard, there's absolutely no chance you're going to do body weight pull-ups. So I don't even bother with it. I just do assisted pull-ups. I don't care that assisted is for pussies or whatever people like to say these days. I'm doing assisted pull-ups because that's what feels best after absolutely taxing my back on this movement. So you can see here that we started off pretty heavy with the lat pull-downs and the rows. Then we moved into something more for squeezing, for driving blood into the muscle with the 2 supersets, or with the 1 superset of 2 exercises. Here with the pullover and the assisted pull-up. So I mean, that's literally as simple as it gets in terms of back training. There isn't anything special in here. It's a great back day, to be completely honest. I feel my back even now, as I mentioned. If you really want to do a back day with only 3 exercises, I recommend these 3 exercises. Obviously, you could switch it up. You could throw in barbell rows instead of chest supported, meadows rows. You can do pull-ups instead of pull-downs. Like, there's so many exercises for back, which is why I just think people overcomplicate it for some stupid reason, because they can't feel their backs because they haven't built enough muscle, and they refuse to use straps because it works their forearms. Like, shut up, use your straps. Okay, no one cares about your forearm size. If you want big forearms, do wrist curls. Stop trying to train your forearms when you're training your back. Lighting here in the posing room is absolutely trash. I got a new phone, so I got to fix up the lighting on that thing, because the posing in this room used to be really good, but for some reason it looks like shit now. There's just no definition in my body. Might just be that I'm fat though. Who knows? So finally, we do rear delts. I was kind of wrapping up the video without realizing that I actually did rear delts, because it's kind of like a separate muscle, but it's kind of not. I do rear delts on the back day instead of the shoulder day, because I do shoulders with chest, and that would just be a lot of volume if I did rear delts as well. So here it's just pretty simple. It's just a cable rear delt fly. It's a really simple exercise. One thing that's really interesting about this kind of exercise is the movement pattern of the arm is much more, I don't want to say optimal, but optimal for activating your rear delts compared to the reverse pec deck, because you're kind of moving on a little bit of an angle. But that, I shouldn't have even said that, because now some idiot is just going to stop doing reverse pec deck. I still love reverse pec deck. It's probably my favorite rear delt exercise. I just did this because it was taken, you know. Anyways, that's it for the back day. This time for real, that's it for the back day. Tomorrow's chest and shoulders. That should be a great video. Hope you enjoyed this one and hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.